Hi, all. Welcome to another episode of Bite Size Staffing. This week, Bite is all about writing an effective job post. We know that hiring in the dental field continues to be a challenge, and we find that those that take the time to write a compelling job advertisement are the ones that are getting the most applicants and thus able to fill their job in a timely manner. So let's get into it. Posting a job, in my opinion, is a art form. Right now, as mentioned, there continues to be more jobs than there are dental professionals to fill them. And all the writing on the wall suggests that this isn't going away anytime soon. So, to write a post that gets us applicants, we need to understand what is happening in the market, what's happening in our local market, and then we need to take all the information we have to create a post that really stands out from the crowd. So, in this mini webinar, I'm going to present some information to you on tools that will effectively tell you what's happening in the market to give you all of the insight that you need to write an effective job post, as well as some fantastic templates so that you have success in hiring. So, always want to start off with reviewing the dental labor market. We know it continues to be challenging, and it doesn't seem like that's going away anytime soon. This right here is just a snippet of the ADA's Health Policy Institute. They run a survey every single quarter, and this data here is from Q1 of 2025. And they found that a third of dentists surveyed have been trying to hire within the last 3 months. That number seems to be pretty solid, has not changed in several years. When asked about the difficulty in hiring, 88% of dentists said that finding a hygienist is extremely or very challenging. 72% said dental assistants were extremely or very challenging. And I'm going to say I've been watching this article come out every quarter since 2021. And these are by far the best numbers that I have seen yet. But that points mute because still 88% of dentists having a hard time finding a hygienist is very high. And then additionally, August of last year, the Health Resource and Service Administration, they released data revealing that the dental professional shortage in the US has increased to almost 10,000 shortages positions that need to be filled for the shortage. And then we have the Dental Post Salary Survey report found that 34% of dental hygienists plan to retire in the next 6 years. So competition on finding solid staff is going to continue to be very challenging. And I don't tell you this to scare you, but I tell you this because I want you to be able to find ways and opportunities to differentiate your practice from other potential employers in the field, and writing a solid job post is going to do that. Next, we want to do some research on the role in particular that we're looking to hire for. So, every single year at the beginning of the year, Dental Post, they publish their salary survey report. And these are the numbers from the survey they ran in 2024 that are reflecting what people plan to do in 2025. So for 2025, they're saying 33.7% of hygienists plan to or might look for a new job this year. And with that information, if I was a practice owner, and I had a hygienist in my practice that I loved, I would want to know, does my hygienist fall into that almost 34% that plan to look for a new job? If so, what can I do to retain them? So make sure if you have a hygienist that you love, you're talking to them. This now is not the time to be losing a hygienist. You need to talk to them, make sure that the pay is where they need it to be, make sure their work environment is happy and they're not stressed, and that they have all of the benefits that they need to want and they feel appreciated by you. So just take the time to do that if you haven't done that yet. Now, if you are a dental office that needs to hire for a hygienist, we know that 20% of them want better pay, but we can see that almost 30% are looking for a better work environment and better benefits. So if we can't offer better pay, we can at least make sure that we write a job post that talks about better work environment and better benefits. So you have those in your back pocket, and we're going to talk about how to write a job post that shows that you're able to offer them what they need and want. Similar to hygienists, dental assistants, they are also looking for better pay and a better work environment. So, again, if you have a dental assistant you love, check in with them, make sure that they're satisfied with where they are at in their career with you. And then, if you are looking to hire, how do I write an ad that conveys that I can give them what they want? Another point here is we have 47% of dental assistants that don't plan to look for a new job, and almost 64, I don't do math in my head, but almost 64% of dental hygienists that don't plan to not look for a new job this year. But how do I maybe get my job advertisement in front of them? If you spend the time to write a really compelling job ad, how can I get my job advertisement in front of those that are not on the job boards? I will have a Bite episode about that out shortly, so be on the lookout for that. Next thing, we know, lots of dental assistants are looking for a new job for better pay. Lots of hygienists are looking for a new job for better pay. Everybody wants to know, well, how do I stay competitive with my pay rates? Do not overthink it. Simply go to your local job board, type in the position and your zip code, and see what all of the other offices in your area are offering for that particular position. In a perfect world, you can maybe add $1 or $2 to the highest pay rate you see. But if not, again, we're going to write an advertisement that really lays out the better work environment and the better benefits. So, not the end of the world if you cannot do that. But do make sure that your pay rate is competitive, or else you might see yourself struggling to find candidates. So, this is absolutely not a step to miss. Okay, we're going to talk about advertising here for a second. This is a car window sticker. When you go to a car lot, you're looking at a car, this is on the car window. And I think the point of these is just to give you all of the information that you need in order to in order for you to know about the car before you purchase it. Now I have to ask, does anybody look at this and say, oh, wow, geez, I really need this expedition? I don't think so. But now here is a car advertisement. It's a car pulling an icebreaker truck through the ice. And it's a very powerful image that grabs your attention, makes you double think, makes you maybe want to act on it. So what we see is that the majority of dental job advertisements are looking like the car window sticker, when what we need to do is make our job advertisement look like a really compelling ad that not only gets their attention, but gets the candidates to want to act on it, which is getting them to apply to your job. And then if you do a really good job with an ad, not only getting them to apply to your job, but getting them to be excited to call you back for the interview when you reach out to them to schedule that. So let's talk about how we go about doing that. Again, these are job advertisements. So what we want to do with an advertisement is we want to get their attention. We want to tell them what it is that they want. We want to show them what they want to read. So what is it that we know dental hygienists want? We know that they want better pay, better work environment, more appreciation, better benefits. So we want to make sure that that is there in the job ad. And then once we do that, we want to make sure it gets in front of as many people as possible. This is marketing 101. What we don't want to do is we don't want to be that window sticker. We don't want too much verbiage. We don't want a long list of duties and requirements. We want to keep those short and sweet. We cannot have low pay rates. If your pay rate is lower than all the other jobs in the area, it does not matter how fantastic your practice is, you are not going to get those applicants. So your pay rate needs to be competitive. If you do not include any benefits to them, you're likely not going to get any applicants. People want to be where they are wanted and appreciated and respected, and a great way to show that you do care about them is by providing benefits. You want to avoid negative connotations. This is a silly one, but I see it happen all the time. Don't say rockstar. Don't say work hard, play hard. These are overused. And there have been so many viral posts from dental influencers saying that these are signs that the office means to overwork them. I know that's not what you mean. It just simply sounds fun and cool to include that. But now there is a negative connotation with those terms. So avoid them or anything similar like that. And then don't do anything that could exclude a viable candidate, meaning that include only what you absolutely must have, not just stuff that you want. What we find is the majority of dental professionals, they are female. And there have been so many studies that have come out that females will not apply to a job unless they are 100% certain they meet the entire criteria of that job. So, for example, if you want a hygienist that is laser certified, but they don't need to be laser certified, just leave it out completely. Do not include anything about laser certifications because you might have those that do not have that certification yet, not applying to your job. Hope that all makes sense. So, let's talk about what to include in the post. This list has been gathered from a lot of different sources. I review my jobs that get the most applicants anytime I see a job that's just blowing up with candidates. I'm like, what are they doing right? So take a look at that. I've read several different articles. Of course, I already showed you some surveys that I like to follow, but I've read several of those. And then I speak with lots of candidates every single day. So I've just compiled a list from all of those sources on what we know candidates want in the field. And then this is here for you. So my thought process here is when we're writing a job advertisement, anytime we can include any of these items in it, let's do it. Maybe big and bold at the top for hygienists, for example, flexible schedule, work 2 to 5 days a week, you choose the days, something along those lines. And then when we're describing the practice itself, our doctor really cares and truly values every single person on the team, which has led to success. Just kind of anywhere you can include little details that kind of pertain to these wants and needs into your job post. It's going to have a huge impact. And then again, we saw that a lot of people are looking for a new job for better benefits. And we know I see every single day that the job advertisements that have more benefits get more applicants. So here's a list of benefits. Definitely get creative. When you do this, a lot of these benefits don't actually have to cost you money. For example, something I love my clients to do is instead of just saying sick days, paid wellness days, or paid mental health days, they're just sick days. You have to pay them anyways, no matter what. But you're changing that verbiage to sound a little bit sexier. So then the applicants are thinking, oh man, I got a paid mental health day. This doctor must really care about my overall well being. And then they're going to want to apply and work that job with you. If you do lunch and learns once or twice a month, include that they get free lunch from time to time. They do, right? So just include anything that you can and make your benefits list as long as possible, and you'll see a ton of applicants come through for your job. All right, let's compare some job postings. I found 3 job advertisements just through a quick Indeed search. I'm kind enough where I didn't include the name of the practice, but we do want to take a second to review this one real quick together. So if I was a hygienist and I wanted better pay, more flexibility, better work environment, is there anything in this advertisement here that shows any of that? No, I don't see anything. All it does is list the days that they need coverage with absolutely no flexibility on those days. Then it goes right into a list of duties and responsibilities. There's no personality to the ad. I do not walk away from this ad understanding who the practice is, who the doctor is, and I am not compelled in any fashion to apply for this job. Now, on the second one, take a quick little look here. They did a great job because we know hygienists like flexibility. And the ad starts off saying, we prefer Tuesdays, but we'll work with you. So that's going to attract any applicant, any that can work 1 day a week to apply to this job, knowing that the office will work with them on that fashion. And then it also takes a moment to make the hygiene applicants feel appreciated by calling the role vital. And then they have a really great call to action line at the bottom that I felt, even though I was not was underwhelmed by the advertisement as a whole. I really did love that call to action line at the bottom there. So it was a great little touch. But it still didn't offer any insight into why somebody would want to work for this practice. There was absolutely nothing about the practice. There's no pay, no benefits listed. And then another thing where they failed to do is they did not format the advertisement within the job board. It looks like they copy and pasted it from somewhere else, and it makes it very hard to follow and read on here. So very, very challenging. So that's another point, is when you do put your ad into whatever job board you're posting through, take a moment to format it accordingly and make sure that it's easy on the eyes. Last one here. This one did a really great job. Big and bold at the top. They say it's part-time or full-time. They have a very competitive pay rate for the market that they were in. And it causes this ad to get the applicant's attention right away because it's going off of that flexibility. It's going off of a great pay rate. And then it's also talking about benefits. So 3 of the main things we know hygienists want right there, big and bold up at the top. Great way to grab my attention and make me want to keep reading. Then it gives some information about the practice. It explains that they're open to full-time or part-time, really playing up to the hygienist's need for flexibility. And then look at this gorgeous list of benefits. Other than paid time off, these are not your traditional benefits that cost a lot of money, but they got creative and they wrote a fantastic list of benefits. And then it gives duties and requirements. The reason you always want to include duties and requirements is to appease the job boards. What they do essentially with your duties and requirements list is they match it up to the resumes of the applicants that are on their job board, and it helps their algorithm figure out who to show your job posting to. So, you should always include you should always include duties and requirements, but keep it simple and keep it like the verbiage exactly how you would want it to be on a resume that's coming in through an applicant. My favorite trick of the trade is just use whatever the templates job posting is. I just copy and paste what they have listed out for the duties and requirements into my job advertisement. And then that tells the job board, hey, this is a true hygiene job posting, only show this to hygienists. And then you'll find that you'll get much more qualified applicants. So they included the duties and requirements that'll appease the job board and get them the right candidates. And then it got cut off, but they did also have a really great call to action. It was short and sweet. We can't wait to meet you. Apply today. So the only improvement that I would really offer is slightly more information about the practice. It would have been really great if they included, we've been serving the Houston area for over 20 years, or if they had won any awards or anything along those lines. It would have been great to have included that, or a lot of our team members have been with us for over 10 years, just kind of something short and sweet about the practice itself. And then another thing that a lot of my clients have been doing that I think is absolutely brilliant is a quick little testimonial from one of the current employees. Just like your potential patients like to read reviews about you, potential employees like to read about the practice as well. So if you have a nice little testimonial from your previous hygienist or your dental assistant that you can include in there at the end, it's just a really sweet touch to get someone really excited to work with your practice. And with that, I'm going to wrap things up. This is just about writing a very solid job post. Next bite I am going to do is how to get your job advertisement seen by as many people as possible. So I look forward to seeing you for that. Again, this QR code will take you to my blog, which also answers a lot of the challenging staffing questions that you may have. So scan it and take a look. Look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.